Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast. Very new, very different because Dave has abandoned us. He has decided there are better things to do with his weekend than talking to me. So instead, I'm joined by, for his second appearance on the podcast, but this time in person with Josh, myself, it's Owen East.
You refer to yourself in the third person there.
I went Craig David on it. Yeah.
Good afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're listening.
Yes. So how are you?
Fine, yep. Difficult second album on the podcast.
Yeah. The heady heights of that first one. Are you going to be able to match it with this?
Very unlikely.
No.
I don't know, heady heights might be a stretch.
I mean, it would help if I listened to the previous one. If I'm not involved with it, I don't listen. So I presume it was bang average.
It was as well received as you could expect.
Okay.
No one said anything.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, so I'm obviously replacing Dave this week, but it'll still be the usual format. We'll start with the news items of the week. We'll then interject with a quiz, although I'm heading back to the fact days, but there's still a quiz element to it. I won't give the answer. Then we'll go on to reviewing the weekend's football as we've had it so far. This has been recorded on Sunday morning UK GMT time, so we've still got the Derby Day fixtures all to come. We'll then look at some wiki files. I'll be challenging Owen to the wiki files
and winning,
but Owen will obviously have to do this wiki files intro, so he'll have to put on his best Apun Hasmapir Petalon.
Good knowledge of his surname.
Yeah. We'll then touch on our talking point of the week, which we sent out earlier in the week, involving Judas.
Phil Campbell.
Yes, yeah. And then we'll wrap up with
Still Judas.
Yes, I mean, I will never forgive him.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not about me. It's about him. And then we'll end with finally tying off the quiz. So let's get started with the news of the week. So Dave actually, even though he's not here, he wanted me to talk about a few things. He wanted to carry on the Mark Hughes hatred we've got on this podcast.
I mean... Yeah, I don't like him.
No.
I find him a petulant man.
Yes, he's very keen on handshakes.
Poor results by all accounts.
Yes, and so they wanted to point out that if he was to get sacked before the end of this year, he'll be the first manager to be sacked by two clubs in the same calendar year in the Premier League, which is the feat everyone's aiming for. Yeah,
that'd be some going, wouldn't it?
Mm.
That's... He's a very uninspiring man, isn't he? I've never been really that convinced by his managerial abilities ever.
No, he's been around the block as well.
He's been everywhere.
He's a manager slut. He's just anything that will take him. He's going for it, isn't he?
I find him to be. There's some managers you can think that they've got a specific style and that doesn't suit clubs, and like obviously Mourinho's got his very specific style and he likes to stick with that, and other clubs doesn't always work for him. But Hughes doesn't seem to have a style.
It still doesn't work for him. Yeah.
Maybe he needs to pick a style and start working towards
maybe
it.
just managing's not his style. It's like that kind of that angsty ex-Man United element to it. So Roy Keane obviously didn't work for him, and maybe Mark Hughes is cut from the same cloth. Is that angsty element? So just to look at his 2018 record. So this year he's picked up something like, I think now obviously getting a result yesterday, he picked up 17 points from 23 games.
Ooh.
Or I think like something like 3 wins in the whole of the year. It's like,
so is that the calendar year?
Yeah, it's like he can't enjoy his weekends. He might actually just not look forward to a weekend anymore. I feel a little bit sorry for him in that sense.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Because Southampton have just been so abject. But they've got some quite creative players.
Dave and I have touched on this, that with Mark Hughes at the helm, Southampton stand a good chance of getting relegated. But with someone else at the helm, they don't. It's not like they're... like you look at Huddersfield and you think, no matter what manager's in charge of Huddersfield, I think if Pep Guardiola took over Huddersfield, I don't know how much he could do there. But someone can do something with Southampton because they haven't got that bad of players. But so that's Mark Hughes. And moving on to another thing we've been talking through recent weeks is Romelu Lukaku and
slagging off United.
Yeah, it's just slag off United. Yeah. Fuck you, Dave. I'm in charge now. And since Romelu Lukaku scored at Old Trafford, this is what's happened. Alexis Sanchez has earned a mere £12 million in wages. All right, for some. Manchester City have scored 83 goals.
Jesus.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton's won 11 Grand Prix. Real Madrid had 3 managers, and Kylian Mbappe has won 4 trophies.
That's an astonishing set of things to have happened.
Yeah, I'm sure Romelu Lukaku's probably not. He hasn't probably got a little calculator going, oh my goodness, it's another £1 million in Alexis's bank since I last scored. But he's.
What's happened to him?
Do you know what I think? He's piled on the weight a little bit.
He looks like I was watching the game yesterday, and I did think that. I thought there's a bit of man boob going on with that shirt.
Is it a United ploy? Do I think you can be a really good target man, but let's get you even bigger? So let's go full Akinfenwa and get you
hit beast mode.
Yeah, get you on the weights, but he needs to slim down a little bit for me. He had a bit of a foot race with one of the Southampton defenders, and thought normally he's pretty quick down the flanks, but he got I think it was Cedric Suarez, and it's like, oh, he didn't win it. But I think he needs to lose a bit of weight. His confidence is low, his touch is all over the place. So, I mean, one of the I'll spoiler alert, there's nothing happened in the second half of the Man United game yesterday,
which is really irritating because I turned the game and I then rewound and watched it via the miracle of the TiVo box.
Okay,
right. I sort of missed most of the first half. And then thought, that's right, I'll watch the second half. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go back and watch the first half. 10 minutes of just tedium. I'm glad I did, because by the time I finished watching the first half, I knew nothing had happened in the second half, so I could just flick for the highlights.
Yeah, but the other one funny element I found was that Lukaku actually injured himself on his own first touch.
Yeah. It was impressive. Very impressive. Did you see him in the second half where he went to control the ball and just fell over as well? Like he just trod on it, fell over, and then everyone
blamed everybody. Yeah. But yeah, so he's having a great time of late. Other news: we left last week's podcast with the Copa Libertadores final has been postponed again. No, it got completely cancelled, and now plans to move to Madrid. I was reading up about this, and one thing I didn't realise is Copa Libertadores was kind of the tributes of the people who liberated America from Spanish colony. And then the plans are now they'll go back into the arms of a colony because apparently they can't behave.
Yeah, it's like, we made a mistake.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I mean, that was absolutely insane, though, wasn't it? That was just ridiculous. Like people kicked up a fuss when Liverpool fans destroyed the Man City bus.
Yeah,
they weren't throwing tear gas in the windows.
No,
were they?
But it was there's a clip going around the internet. There's this mother taking her children to match, and you see her strapping fireworks to her. It must be 6-7-year-old daughter's chest underneath her shirt. You're like, yeah, what? Do you enjoy football? I mean, what are you doing? Who's ever gone? I'm going to match this weekend. You fireworks? Oh yeah. They're around little Mary Beth's belly. It's like, why that shouldn't be
Mary Beth.
Yeah, that's
keen Spaniard name.
Yeah, one of the most popular names in Argentina.
I read this sort of an article after the game first got cancelled about this old River fan who said he wanted to, when he died, be changed into a Boca kit, so that at least when he died, he knew one of them was dying.
Whoa!
What pissed logic is that?
Well, that's great. He knows his stuff. Yeah. Okay. The final bit of news I had. I mean, this isn't groundbreaking news, but
it's not even really recent news.
No, it's just for pure timing of podcasts. Yeah. It was just that I think you all need to check out Scottish Cafu's goal in the amazing 5-5 draw. Villa Birmingham was Alan Hutton.
That was a ludicrously good goal.
Picks up the ball, much like he picks up a loose pass like Ryan Giggs did against Arsenal. Picks up
opposite flank.
Yeah, opposite flank, but when he marauds somewhat straight down the middle of the pitch. Yeah. It wasn't really down the flank. It was kind of like he just cut inside and kept going and going. And
it's a sort of it's a very niche reference here. You know, in Band of Brothers.
I do know Band of Brothers.
The captain they're all a bit afraid of just starts running through the enemy lines and liberates the other side and links them up.
Yeah,
it's a bit like that.
Yeah,
no one really expected him to be doing it.
No,
and I think for the first sort of 15-20 yards of his run, they're just sort of in complete shock that Alan Hutton is running with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
And then they only realise too late that he's about to score.
Part of you got to think, oh, he's Alan Hutton.
Yeah.
Someone's got him. Yeah,
it's all right.
He's got actually.
He's going to fall over.
Yeah, he's going to do a Lukaku and trip over his own feet. Yeah.
Yeah, the ball will roll harmlessly a goalkeeper.
No. Yeah.
No.
I mean, being a Spurs fan, I experienced Hutton firsthand. I think I was there for his debut. He'd signed from Rangers. I think he had a cracking game against Barcelona, which seemingly was the only game we watched.
Yeah.
And bought him for something like 8-9 million. Wasn't great for us. But I'm happy to see him do well. He always seems to try hard. He got completely frozen out for a little bit of Spurs, which is never nice to see for a footballer because you just want.
I think he was always just a bit. He was just a bit basic in his abilities for a big club like Tottenham.
Yeah. But yeah, that was epic, that. Anything else? Nothing. Any other business? No. Any other news items?
I haven't really got anything else.
No. Okay. No. All right. With that, then we'll move on to the quiz, which is somewhat a fact, but a quiz. But I won't. I'll explain as we go. So. I was reading this week around. There's been some classic 11s in Premier League history. So we start off with the classic Man United side. So we'll go Schmeichel, Paul Parker, Dennis Irwin, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce. We have Kanchelskis and Giggs on the wings, Ince and Keane in the middle, with Hughes and Cantona up front. Classic 11, you'd say.
Yeah, that's a team it's not quite the triple winning.
No,
season,
this is kind of early.
Build up the sort of the Premier League dominance. They're winning the double, that sort of early mid-90s.
So then we also have the Invincibles. So we have Jens Lehmann, Lauren and Cole on the fullback, Sol Campbell, Colo Touré. On the wings we have Lundberg and Perez cutting in, Gilberto Silva, Vieira in centre midfield, and Bergkamp and Henry up front.
That is a strong side.
That's
isn't it?
yeah. You think of that. Is when you think of the Invincibles, like right, that is the 11. And then also you have kind of when Mourinho was a good manager. He had that Chelsea winning title winning side. So he obviously had Petr Cech. He had brought in Paulo Ferreira from Porto. You had Wayne Bridget at left back. God. Terry and Carvalho. You had Robin and Duff on the wings. Lampard, Makelele, Joe Cole, and Drogba up front. You think that's a
strong side.
So the question I have is, how many games did each of those sides start as 11? Because they're classic 11s, but how many games did they play together from the start? Do you think, well, they got to? I mean, that's an iconic side.
Invincible side. You would imagine that was the same side.
So we've got the United, kind of must be about 95, 96. We've got the Invincibles, and we've got Mourinho's title-winning side, first title-winning side. Ooh, you know what? It's a murky time for me. Those university years.
You were haze, weren't you?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Blotto, mate. Yeah. So we'll leave that with you. How many, if you want to put a kind of number against any of those, how many times they played together. But yeah, we'll come back to that at the end of the podcast. So we'll move now into reviewing yesterday's games. So this is a Saturday fixtures, one Friday night fixture, in fact.
Yeah, Cardiff and Wolves.
Yeah, should we start there, Cardiff Wolves?
Yeah, should do, really, because quite an important win for Cardiff.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Because obviously both teams got promoted this season.
One heavily bankrolled.
Yes, and the other not. Just kind of.
I mean, for Cardiff have been the team that, before this season even started, as soon as they got promoted, everyone was picking them for odds-on favourite to be bottom of the league.
Because they overachieved, basically.
They really did stretch themselves.
And so when Wolves line up against Cardiff, I think, we were better than you last year, we're better than you now, we'll beat you. Yeah. And they didn't beat them. Cardiff snatched a result, and I remember thinking, oh God, Junior Hoylett, he's rolled back the years, curling one in. When I looked,
he's really young, isn't he?
He's 28.
He's younger than either of us.
Yeah, shit, he is. Oh God,
4 years on us, isn't he?
Oh, that's upsetting. Yeah,
I can remember him from the heady football manager days when he was at Blackburn, and think very sort of promising teenager that flourished into this incredible player.
Yeah.
Hasn't really worked out for him in real life.
No, he didn't flourish because he was signed for Blackburn quite young, age 13, and started
13,
playing.
Really?
Yeah, I think they had to loan him out to kind of German sides because he's Canadian and he had no international pedigree at that point. Failed the old work permit. Obviously, it's me kind of hypothesising, but yeah, and then he started playing for him at 19, but never really developed.
No, he came at a time where, as he sort of when he was starting to play, he came at a time that similar players, pacey sort of little wingers, were Will becoming a bit of a
Yeah, he was kind of at the start of that inverted winger, wasn't he? Yeah. But a lovely goal. You see that goal? It rolled out to him. He thought, oh.
You knew what he wanted to do as soon as it came to him,
and he did it. But
lovely.
Wolves, it's not good for Wolves. It's their 5th defeat in 6 matches, and they haven't won since 6th of October. And that's not great for them, is it?
No, you would have thought, because, I watched them beat West Ham right at the beginning of the season. And then after that, they sort of were picking up results against other teams in and around them. And you thought, this team, they look all right, actually. They've invested really heavily, and they've got some very, very talented players amongst their ranks. And their goalkeeper, I think, Rui Patricio, has been amazing. And that may come back to haunt them with there's a tribunal, isn't there, to find out how much they actually owe for him. But I thought Wolves, they'll be fine. And then it just seems to be, it's almost like, who was it? Was it Blackpool when they first rocked up and the first half of the season was like battering everyone?
Yeah, I remember the first game. It's similar to we kind of thought around Cardiff when Blackpool came in. It was like, oh, they're going to get transferred. I think they won something like 4 or 5-0 at Wigan on the opening day. It's like, oh. It
was that Brazilian. Was it Brazilian midfielder? Bit old, but really.
Oh, that was Hull.
Hull?
Giovanni.
That's it.
Yeah.
They were.
The orange, yeah.
But yeah, a similar thing, isn't it? That they start very promisingly because people aren't sure what to make of them, and then they get found out quite quickly.
Wolves have been found out the fact that they have 2 lovely central midfielders who can pass the ball, but that's when they're allowed to have time and have their head up, and it doesn't work that well. But game was on a bit of an edge. 1-0. The game had a bit of an edge from the 1-0 win last year. Where
not handshake gate.
Yeah. Moving on from Mark Hughes and handshakes, Neil Warnock also loves a handshake, and because Cardiff managed to miss 2 penalties and stoppage time last season, and obviously Wolves won, and they went on the field cheering and didn't think to shake Neil Warnock's hand because that's your first thing you think when you've won. So it had that little bit of edge, but it's because Wolves are typically quite good at holding on to a lead. It's the first time in 44 games since they've lost after scoring first, but Cardiff are actually quite good at coming back from losing positions, which is quite handy because they're often in losing positions, so they're going to need to do that to pick up any points.
They've become accustomed to it.
Yes, it's familiar, and quite similar to Man United actually. They've become accustomed. You don't normally say that. Cardiff and Man United have something in common. They're accustomed to going goals down, going behind, and having to pull it back. But well done, Cardiff. They need to do that if they're going to stay up and win those type of games.
They've got to start winning home games.
They're not going to pick up too many away. It's much tougher away. But that's another win at home and kind of keep going up. But Wolves still find themselves 12th, so it's not all doom and gloom.
But that gap there, the table, it's the points difference between sort of like 12th and below is not actually as wide as you think.
No.
3, 4 points, 5, 6, 7 points off.
You're going 8, 9, yeah.
They're a number of points off the drop. But actually, if you look, then there's 6 points in it between 17th and 12th.
But the thing is, we've got the midweek round coming up of games in
Christmas
Premier League.
Is always a
You've got so many games in succession. If you have a poor Christmas, you come out of it New Year after you've had a few Baileys and you go, let's have a look at this table. Oh my goodness, this table looks horrendous, or it looks great, and that's what we'll see in the new year. Okay, we'll move on to Crystal Palace versus Burnley. So speaking of relegation struggles, both sides were coming off a very poor run of results. So Burnley, I think, had no win in 6 before this. Palace had no win in 7 or 8 before this, and so it could have gone either way. But
those 2 wingers,
Zaha and Townsend, if they're on form,
they're unplayable.
Yeah,
I mean, Zaha looked just ridiculous yesterday. I mean,
he hadn't shown it that much this season. No, I remember really wanting Spurs to sign him, and
I was going to say the same thing. Would you still sign him?
Yeah, I would still. Although the fact that I thought because he really bossed it last year when he came back, and I thought he'd got to a level where he was consistently performing, and he's been a bit off the boil so far this year. But we'll see how he does for the rest of the season, because I think he is bigger than Palace, and Palace fans won't like me saying it, but he is bigger and better than you.
But when he went to United, he looked so bang average that
he looked like United was too big and too better for him than him.
He was sort of middle ground.
Yeah, maybe at Tottenham. Yeah. Well, actually,
I don't know.
Well, let me just realise what I've just said there. We're better than you, United. We're better than you.
Well, looked a bit shocked there.
Yeah. I didn't remember what I
He's
said.
a club worse than United. Well, Tottenham then. Should we talk about Townsend's goal? Because it was lovely.
He tries that a lot, doesn't he?
He has always made a bit of a career out of doing that, and I do wonder why defenders consistently let him cut in.
Because he's not Arjen Robben, so it doesn't go in anywhere near as much as it should.
But if you watch the goal, I can't remember who the left back is, but he's pointing to his centre back, saying he's almost like, close him down, and he doesn't, and it was nice.
Yeah,
it was
very nice. Yeah, the first goal wasn't. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a cross go in, like the wide cross,
whipped cross.
Yeah, it's been a while since one's gone straight in. I always feel a bit.
I mean, it even made me feel bad for Joe Hart, which doesn't very often happen.
Yeah. It's kind of a bit anticlimactic as a goal because it's not like a long range shot where you have the immediate anticipation that it might be a goal.
Yeah, it might be a worldie.
It's kind of like
there's a bit of sort of muted confusion, isn't there, as it goes into. It's a goal.
Well, first you will go, did someone get a touch? No. Oh, I guess it's my goal. It wasn't a shot. I'll take it as a goal.
Yeah. So it's almost muted in celebrations, isn't it?
Yeah. There's one player I saw playing for Palace. I'd forgotten.
Jacko Chiarte?
Yeah. Did you miss? Because I thought he was always quite good at West Ham.
He was very good at the start. We sort of got him as at the beginning, he was almost like a poor man's Yaya Toure. Yeah. May I say it?
What makes you link those two players together?
Well, they're sort of big, marauding central midfielders.
Anything else?
Yeah. Played in the left side. No. Just tall and powerful and loved the box to box. And he really
and I thought he was really good to begin with. But yeah, he came with wonderful because he's becoming a bit of a trodden path from West Ham and Palace, isn't it?
Yeah, just walk boards over to Palace. I don't say we'd miss him because for the sort of last 18 months he was playing for us, he wasn't really doing a great deal. I mean, we miss him in the sense that we didn't ever really replace him unless you count Carlos Sanchez, which we don't. So we miss that sort of a more defensive-minded midfielder. Although having said that, now Declan Rice is really finding his feet.
Love me Declan Rice.
He's generally looking very good. But at the beginning of the season, when we weren't really sure of our best team, you did think, was it a bit short-sighted to get rid of him? But no, don't miss him. He didn't look particularly great yesterday, and I think, he's probably. I don't imagine he'll spend a great deal of time in the Premier League from now on.
No, and so when we find Burnley now languishing now in 19th.
And do you know what? Until you look at the table, you don't think Burnley are second bottom, are they?
No,
they'll be about 8th. But
yeah.
Are they not still in the Europa League? Are they?
No, that ended in qualifying. Yeah, but it seemed to have completely disrupted their season.
Yeah, it happens often, doesn't it? You get teams that. I mean, Burnley overachieved last year. They really overachieved, and they weren't ready for Europe. Much like West Ham, we got in there through the Fair Play Award and really, really struggled with everything.
Because you played like a game, you start your season was like in
end of May.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
We had about 4.5 minutes to a break before we started again.
Yeah. But yeah, I live it because I consider Burnley one of my second teams. That works, doesn't it? Because obviously family connections there, so I wouldn't like to see them go down. But at the same time, they don't set the Premier League alight.
They don't. They're very they're rather mundane in what they do.
Workmanlike, aren't they?
They do. They know how to get results, but they're
not now.
They just seem to have forgotten.
Let's go past tense now. They knew how to get results.
Yeah, that's good.
Because they've now had 2 wins in their last 19 Premier League games. Before that, they won 5 on the bounce, which is
this season.
But so before that, it's like it's almost like they exhausted all their wins in one go. It's like
don't spread those out.
In 24 games, you can win 7 games. Let's go 5 straight off the bat. But, no, don't do that. I've done it.
Yeah, that's worrying for Burnley.
Yeah. So talking about potential championship sides, we move on to Huddersfield versus Brighton.
I mean, even just saying Huddersfield Brighton, just even still for pictures, that's a lower division game. Isn't it? Sorry to Huddersfield and Brighton fans, but and it's a bit rich coming from a West Ham fan, I know, but that's a championship.
Oh, I'll say it then. Yes, championship match.
Yeah.
And
Crofts.
It was an intense first half hour. So obviously, there's a goal within the first minute, which is the quickest goal since Christian Eriksen's goal against United. Which you think the goal was somewhat beautiful. The right back Bruno attempts to hook it clear, but instead books straight back into like the 6-yard box.
Which is a shame. because
Amazing.
Later on in the game, Brennan does this sort of amazing scissor kick that keeps the ball in from going off for a goal kick. It's a shame he couldn't do it then.
Yeah.
Or just tap it off for a corner.
Yeah.
He just boots it over his head straight into donk.
So worried about clearing things in a certain time. Yeah, he didn't go quite. So yeah, hooked that back in his own box, and Jorgensen nods it in. And then we have.
Was that Mounier?
Yeah. It's not a red
It's
for
not
me.
a red card for me.
I mean, I can understand.
His studs are up.
Yeah, studs are up, and you see the shape. But there's no.
It's not a tap, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no power behind it whatsoever.
It's not reckless, is it?
No.
I think it might have been. You could argue it was a bit malicious. His studs are up. He gives him a kick on the top of the shin pad, but he doesn't follow through. He doesn't push his leg through and take him out. He's just
kind of flapping in the wind a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just dangles his leg in.
Yeah.
So I thought, I mean, yeah, it was soft.
Yeah.
A soft red. Yellow card telling off because it was about 30th minute or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's when you're sending someone from 30 minutes,
you've got to be absolutely. It's got to be something.
Yeah.
Worse than that. I thought.
It'd be interesting to have a look at that. Like, look at all the red cards in first half of the matches. You've got to think.
They've got to be something pretty substantial, haven't they?
Yeah, wrongly though, because if it's a red card, it's a red card. But yeah, but you should always feel like the earlier the red card, the more reckless the challenge.
Yeah, whereas as you had one on the 93rd minute,
you go,
he sneezed then, get him off.
Yeah,
get him in the bath.
Yeah,
I felt that was a bit harsh. I thought,
so Huddersfield then trying to hold on, and so Brighton did what was done to them. Similar to what was done to them last week. So Brighton were obviously a goal up last week against 10 men. They're now a goal down against 10 men, and they really they punished them. And
they did. It was all them after that. After sort of really hanging on.
Yeah, and Brighton won with Glenn Murray on the bench, which was quite impressive to see. But Bruno redeemed himself. Bruno helped with the quick short corner and got them back into it. So do you reckon he feels good after that match? Go, yeah. He probably does, doesn't he?
I think so. I think he redeemed himself, didn't he? Because obviously, and I suppose for a player that has made such a horrendous mistake as he did, he really looked very sharp after that. He was getting everything.
Focus the mind a bit. Maybe he needs to do that a bit more often.
Yeah, just make an error. I mean, just smaller errors next time. You know, like forget his boots or something.
But before the match, make errors before the match starts.
Has to make up for it. Accidentally. Pulls down the trousers of his manager and needs to make up to him.
Make amends, yeah.
I'm writing some fan fiction here now.
Okay, we'll leave you to. I'll stay tuned for future episodes where I read out the full works of a fan fiction.
The smutty manuscripts.
But for me, Brighton have got a famed or infamous away record, really poor. Huddersfield is a game against a similar level side. They need to win these type of games, and so
I think the referee let them down a lot there. But like lingering just outside, they're a point off, aren't they? I mean, they could drop into it if Fulham beat Chelsea today. It's unlikely, but those are sort of games you need to be winning. Yeah,
so I think Huddersfield are not winning that match.
Brighton are doing surprisingly well though, actually being in 11th.
Yeah.
They're not doing bad at all, really.
No, they're a good footballing side. They seemingly have a bit more about them than likes of Huddersfield.
They're gonna suffer though towards the second half of the season. You would imagine because their squad depth just isn't big enough to maintain this. So
all right, we'll move on to Leicester versus Watford now, and pretty comfortable in the end. Win for Watford. We had the early win for Leicester. Sorry, Watford
should have been a win for Watford. They missed so many chances.
Can't finish, can they?
They literally could not finish their own. Did it? It was mental. They absolutely dominated. They had chance after chance after chance. There was that one, I can't remember who the player was. It cross came in. He missed it with his strong foot and then kneed it with his standing foot, and you thought that summed it up. It was about the fifth chance they'd had.
Yeah. So we have the first goal with Jamie Vardy. He has now won more penalties than anyone else since 14-15. He's won 14 penalties.
It's his pace, isn't it?
But I would say that the word "one" is the key word, because
even that one looked.
Well, you see, what I think the touch that Foster got on him. I think it was a touch.
It was definitely a touch.
That is not enough to upend a man.
He's already watch it back. His feet are already dragging because he knows it's coming, and it's fair enough because it's smart football from a striker. But it always irks me slightly. I think because he just knocks the ball past him, the ball's rolling right out of play, and then he just thinks, "Here we go."
But like the way he's got that perfected, the kind of like, oh my goodness, he's been completely wiped out because he kind of must dig his studs in,
wait,
completely kind of stops him, so his body topples over and he goes boom, smashes over. It's like, oh my goodness, he's been wiped right out.
His feet flick back behind him and he skids onto the turf.
Yeah, and it's like
Foster was straight up, right in the referee's face, sort of shouting, about, I can't think he was saying I never touched him because you did, but he must be saying he was already going down or something because you watch the replays back in real time. I thought cast iron penalty. Then you watch it back, and it looked a little bit iffy, but. I don't know. Yeah. Until VAR comes in, I think that's what we're going to have to contend with. I need when VAR comes in. It's not make a difference.
No. Then we have the second goal from James Maddison. So he's it
was nice, wasn't it?
Do you know what's interesting? This is a sweeping move.
It was nice. 3 or 4 like one touch
massive
passes.
Triangles, wasn't it? Across the pitch. And the interesting was that the Albrighton kind of crossfield pass was his first touch was to control it in the air and keep it in the air, wasn't it? Like often the player would kind of touch it and run onto it. But he controlled it and then went inside. Now, what I can't work out from the angles I've seen so far is that second touch. Second touch looks like
first touch is off his chest.
Yeah.
Second touch off his knee.
It is off his knee because I couldn't work out if it was like a defender getting a foot.
No, you see, because he has 3 before he shoots, and I think one of them is the defender. So maybe it is the second touch. First of the chest, then I think it's the defender that knocks it a bit further, and then he controls it.
It looks it doesn't look a nice touch.
No, I think he's fortunate for there. But the first touch with the chest is like really well controlled. Pushes it away, and I think the defender gets a knee or a foot to it. Then it's another touch, and then a volley straight in.
Yeah.
You watch it in real time. It made me make noises. It was a really lovely goal.
It was a nice goal. Then Clawpwell likened him to Glenn Hoddle, which. I mean, he seemed very.
Do they both talk nonsense on the telly? Is that why?
He played with him before at Marseille. I think he maybe did it as an excuse to wish Glenn well in his recovery from his heart attack. But because it was nice, but
it's an ambitious comparison.
It is an ambitious comparison, but it was a nice goal and better than his red card.
I was going to say he's made amends for last week, hasn't he? Because that was quite embarrassing. It's nice with Leicester. They've had a horrible time the last few weeks, and their results since that horrendous tragedy seem to have...
they're doing well. So it's 5 unbeaten of 5 now. But then there's also the news that Watford have extended Javier Gracia's contract, which amazingly is the first Watford manager to sign a contract extension since Malky Mackay in 2011. Malky Mackay. Who'd remember old Milky Malky? I remember him. Watford have always been a bit short and sharp with the sackings.
Too much so, really. But hopefully, with Garcia, they can stick to him, and because they started really well this season, and they've gone off the boil a bit. But there's enough there for them to do all right with him and to be, a top half Premier League side, push for Europe, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But so both sides, table wise, seem pretty safe and doing quite well overall. So Leicester in 8th and Watford
20 points this time of the season.
Both amongst each other in 10th. So it's pretty decent. All right, we'll move on to Manchester City versus Bournemouth. And
just irresistible at the moment, City, aren't they?
Well, a bit of a struggle today. Only won by 2 clear goals. It's normally
3 or 4.
And I suppose looking at the lineup, it was somewhat of a second string or a mixture of first and 11 and second, because we had Danilo, Zinchenko, Gundogan, even Jesus and Sane play, which has been it's always been Aguero for so much this season, and Mahrez has been in instead of Sane for kind of more important matches.
I'm always confused about Sane because I read a lot about his
behaviour.
I think that's what it is, because he was dropped from the German side, wasn't he? And the boss of the German side, said he wasn't dropped for footballing reasons. He was dropped good, so he must have a terrible attitude.
But he's a really good footballer.
He's insanely good at football.
He's so quick, isn't he?
He's lightning fast, and he just seems to be able to do things with the ball that you just wouldn't expect a human being to be able to do with them.
Yeah, he's that composure in front. Like, was it against you?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, because that goal is the first goal is kind of like he just chops back in and everybody's like down on the floor. It's like, I will just pass.
It's but it's very good.
Bournemouth weren't in the greatest run of form. They're trying to avoid a run of 4 defeats. But they provided some strong opposition. Man City went in at half time level with Bournemouth.
It was a really nice headed goal. They're very nice headed goal. That headed goal.
Keeper ruined it a little bit. Keeper got a little bit of touch, ruined it.
That always spoils it because you think should have saved it.
Yeah,
but it was a nice header, nice leap, nice angled header. And when they win it at half time, you thought could be something here because Bournemouth do have a tendency to dig their heels in, but. It was
not to be, was it?
No, it's
but Sterling's doing it again.
Sterling's turning it on again. Do you see it? Because he missed that one chance. And if it had gone in, it would have gone down as one of your all-time favourite goals.
Kind of amazing.
He just dribbles for so long, but the further he went to the left,
he was going. It was almost gone past the post, wasn't he? He had to cut it back, and it was like it hit the post.
The longer he dribbled that way, I thought, no, he's not. Yeah. He's not getting that. But he gets his goal again. Yeah, it's the 6th time I think he scored against.
Loves playing against Bournemouth, doesn't he? Yeah. It was last year, was it, when they went that run of just nicking late goals? Yeah, he scored one. But it's amazing that Man City are doing this still without their best player from last year, Kevin De Bruyne. Still
not there.
Yeah, and as soon as he comes back, I mean,
because he was astonishing last year. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, and that was the thing that I always noticed was the Kevin De Bruyne. You don't even expect it to be a through ball to Sane on the left. It's like
it's a lovely switch. Yeah, and I watched. Did you see that Amazon Prime? Are we allowed to advertise? We're not paid for by the BBC.
No.
That
I don't.
We're not paid for by anyone, are we?
No. I mean, in case you're not aware, this is somewhat of a
amateur production.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not getting a fee.
Well, you get paid in some way, shape, or form. I'm giving you some biscuits already. Is that not enough?
That is enough, actually. No, I will do most things for biscuits. The Amazon Prime documentary / advert for Manchester City.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it, but I don't really know why I quite enjoyed it.
It's that behind the scenes look at football. You go, look at football.
The stadium. Oh, look, he's in his pants.
Yeah.
But I was hoping to watch it, thinking like maybe you'd get a little insight into why Sane is always sort of proverbial difficult player, but he didn't. They didn't mention it at all.
No, a lot of Benjamin Mendy love, wasn't there?
He does look quite lovable, though.
He does. Yeah. I mean, for a player who was injured for most of the season, he gets an extortionate amount of coverage in there. It's like even like him just watching in a hospital bed. It's all right.
There were just quite a lot of shots of him on Skype as well.
Yeah.
This is not a television I signed up.
Yeah, but no, that is a good watch because I do enjoy. The behind the scenes look at football, and linked to that, just as an aside, that's Peter. Not to don't want to advertise rival podcasts because we're pretty neck and neck in the rankings, but that Peter Crouch podcast is a very good listen.
Is it? I'm not actually.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, Peter Crouch is really nice, really friendly. It's with Chris Stark of Radio 1 fame, and I can't remember the other one's name. He's a BBC kind of radio guy. He's kind of a formal voice of the show, but it's really interesting. Each podcast has a different theme, but if you want, after you listen to our podcast, you can maybe listen to that
if you've got time.
Yeah. I don't know if Peter Crouch has given any shout outs to Football Talk podcast.
He probably has. He probably has.
All right, so we'll move on to a big result. Was it the biggest result of the weekend? Newcastle versus West Ham.
It's certainly our biggest result since Manuel Pellegrini took charge. 3-0 away win, only our second away win of the season.
Who was your other away win against?
Everton 3-1.
Oh, some good away wins there.
So, just two.
but
important, really important.
Not like you went away at Cardiff and Huddersfield. Better sides. Yeah,
better sides.
I'd say that. I mean, more of a Newcastle name and the
I think it's their history rather than their current status. But very important win because next match is against Cardiff and then Palace, both of which are at the London Stadium.
Oh, really?
So could be 3 wins out of 3 and then an enormous 9 points for us. It was
unexpected,
very unexpected. The level, certainly because I watched it, and I feared the worst for the first sort of 10 minutes or so because Newcastle just looked much better. And to be honest, they looked a lot in places. They looked a lot better than us for most of the game. They just couldn't take chances. They were denied a couple of times by just good interventions by Fabianski. And
good block from Zabaleta on one.
That was an unbelievably good block. Zabaleta's, I think last season it was the 4th most tackles put in the Premier League.
You'd have thought he'd been kind of past it, but he
did look a bit past it when he first started. He did. But I think that was just more the whole of the team weren't supporting. I think now he's part of the unit. It seems to be a bit better. He's got 2 central defenders next to him there.
And obviously. Manager knows how to treat him.
But a clean sheet was really welcome as well because actually the 2 centre backs in Balbuena and Issa Diop have been unbelievably good. I've seen most games one way or another this season. And they're just astonishingly good players.
It's impressive being 2 new players as well, isn't it?
Two new players from who are one's from Paraguay, one's from France. It's not like
new leagues.
They've done very, very well. Diop, especially, who's young, he's only 21 or 22. He looks a very good player. We're gonna have to struggle to keep hold of him because he looks very.
Struggle to keep hold of Declan Rice as well. We mentioned Declan Rice earlier. He's yet to sign a contract. Is that right?
I think he is in the process of doing it, but
I'd like him at Tottenham.
He would be very good there. He's sort of a better version of Dyer.
Yeah, I see him as an. Do you reckon his future is in midfield? Do you reckon he's just kind of learning his trade outside the thrust of centre back?
He needs to choose, I think, because otherwise he's going to run the risk of being a John O'Shea, which nobody wants.
No, John O'Shea wants it.
No. I don't know, honestly, because he's played so well recently in that central midfield role that does he need to say, oh no, I'm actually a centre back? But then if you play so well there, he could be one of those much coveted ball playing centre backs that lots of managers look for these days, and certainly
it doesn't help harm his development playing midfield because obviously Leslie King started playing centre back, then was moved into midfield to kind of help solidify midfield, and it does help, gives you awareness, that ball playing kind of nature. So I think it's never a bad thing for a centre back, but it is that point where you go, hold on here, I've been doing this, but I am a centre back. That's where I see my career going. Playing at centre back, and you got unless you really want to be in midfield. But
he's looked very good.
So Benitez came out after the match and said the difference there was transfer budgets, and I kind of see what
I think he makes a good point. I mean, because I think Felipe Anderson, who could cost us 40 million, he ran the show down that left wing. He's looked increasingly.
I do, impressive. I remember a few years back I was like, oh, I might sign him because I watched a few like Lazio highlights. I was like, 2-footed dribbles, and he's got a wealth of riches up front because it worked. I mean, I've liked Arnautovic for about a year now because that's about how long he's been playing well for. Very good. It seemed quite unselfish as well. Like yesterday, setting up a few chances. Chicharito actually looked decent because I've not been overly impressed with him in a West Ham shirt.
No, he's not really done as much as we'd hoped him to have done. We signed him, but I mean, he looked very good yesterday. Those two play very well together. The games I've seen. I mean, I watched the Wolves game. Obviously, he came on, and those two linked up very well against Spurs. Two annoying 1-0 defeats. When we played better, and when those two came on, they had a really nice partnership. Chances were created really quickly.
Do you remember that chance Anderson's kind of back heel through ball that he created for Chicharito, and Chicharito obviously missed, but that was just like, that deserved
that needed a nice goal.
So you've got that wealth of riches up front. So you've got obviously Yarmolenko and Lanzini injured, and come back. You got I was going to say Miguel Antonio, but like, so what's your attacking? What, 4? We have 1 up front with 3 behind. Who would you choose in that?
It's really difficult to choose them. I mean, Arnautovic is going to be in there, but whether he's your first front man or the one in behind, I'm not sure, because Chicharito looks good up there, and those two link really nicely together. So what I'd probably have is Hernandez up top with Arnautovic in behind him in a sort of do whatever you want, a trequiesta or whatever it's called, a football manager. And then the left-hand side's got to be
Felipe
Anderson, because just really coming into his own. But the right-hand side is really difficult because Yarmolenko looked really good. Certainly, the United game where we won, he looked very good, and the Everton game.
But then you got Lanzini, who probably one of your best players. And I remember a couple of games last year under Moyes, it was Lanzini and Arnautovic kind of just tore a couple of teams apart.
Those two. So maybe
I'd say personally, I'd go Chicharito. You can be super sub as per United career. Lanzini behind Arnautovic.
I think those two, Lanzini and Arnautovic, could really make things sing. He's due back in January, so hopefully.
Yeah, it's a real shame for him because obviously he missed out on the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so decent result for West Ham, leaves you 13th, but
it's a bit of a nice gap now between us and Palace. There's 3 points in that, so and a win on Tuesday and some favourable results around us, and we start moving ourselves.
Yeah, because it's been almost, isn't it? It's been almost so far.
It's always been a sort of stuttering start, really, and I've had some results. Nice.
All right.
Can we talk about the Snodgrass cross just quickly?
I don't know how I feel about it. You like it?
The one for Hernandez to go. Yeah, it's a belter.
I don't know. It looks a little bit.
If you say hit and hope, I'm going to smack you.
A little bit mishit. Wait, it's quite a low flight on the ball. It kind of, I don't know. All right, I like it. Oh, he's threatening me. He's got a knife. I don't like the cross. I don't like the cross.
Do you not? Do you know Johnny Spinks this hit? I
Actually,
disagree respectfully, but you're a knobhead. So,
well,
it was perfect. I'm going to have to watch it back now.
Yeah,
Don't
but
tarnish it. It was
what
lovely.
I am happy for is Snodgrass, because he was completely not isolated, completely.
Bilic did not treat him well.
No,
I don't think he wanted to sign him because it was very much a David Sullivan signing.
Yeah.
And a replacement for Dimitri Payet, which is always going to be big shoes to fill. I mean, as treacherous as he was very, very good.
Oh, it's that kind of like that foreign love. It's like, it's like a holiday romance. Do you remember that Payet? Yeah.
That was lovely, wasn't it? The summer of 2016.
Yeah. The summer of Payet love.
So I mean, he struggled under Bilic, who never really wanted him, but obviously Pellegrini's seen something in him that he really likes.
Hard.
He tries very hard. He's been playing a couple of different positions as well. He's been playing central midfield, and he seems to do quite well there. Yeah, I like him.
Got a very big head.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I like him, even though he does have a massive head.
All right. Speaking of massive heads, let's move on to Southampton versus United. And Jose Mourinho's probably shrinking head now. He's
but I like it.
Yeah, he can't think of himself.
He cannot believe he's the special one now, can he? Really? He is a man fallen from grace, and it's.
There's a good result yesterday for United. They're nicking a point off their relegation rivals.
And fighting back from 2-0 down against Southampton, who haven't been able to score all season.
I know, but I was thinking this because less so now because we're more on par with sides like that. But when I was a Spurs fan of when we were a bit lower down the ranks, if we took an early lead against a top side, I was like, I don't like this. Much rather
be fighting back
or kind of held it level and nick a late goals. Don't poke the beast early on.
That's how I feel as a West Ham fan.
Yeah, and how many? If you asked every single Southampton fan, how many of them were confident of winning that match when 2 goals up after 15 minutes, or it was?
Yeah,
I imagine not many of them.
Not as their current form as well. No. There was. They really raced out the blocks. They looked very, very good that first half.
It started well, but didn't as a team. But there was that moment of madness from McCarthy, swing and a miss at the back there, and but then he seemed to catch United because
there's none of their desires, there's none of their drive. They're never hungry for a goal.
No,
it's like what? Hey, we can probably try.
Rashford, I'll do a back heel. He could have turned and passed to someone and had a shot, but then back heeled it, laid off, and obviously he passed him to Lukaku. So don't do that. But it was a bit weird to have a first half comeback, wasn't it?
Yeah, you don't usually see a first half comeback,
especially then.
Well, from United,
then there's a second half nothing.
Yeah,
we touched on it earlier in the pod.
No one wanted to win that second half. They were too desperate not to lose. That's the problem with that game. Neither side wanted to lose, so they really, really didn't want to try and win. So it was such an abject second half. It really bored me. It was a nice goal from Armstrong
again.
I mean, admittedly, and this is perhaps an error coming on this show. I don't know a great deal about Armstrong. Where's he come from?
Celtic. He's come from Celtic, but that is because I had to look it up because when he scored last week, I was like, we got a youth player coming through. Where's this Armstrong lad?
He's 32, isn't he?
But yeah, it was
really nice finish.
Yeah,
really nice finish.
Yeah, a really good finish last week.
I wasn't sure because I've seen it. Should De Gea do better, or is it hit too hard? I mean, because he really hits it hard. It's an absolute rocket.
Yeah, it's nicely across the goal as well. But it's a really nice finish. But not as good a finish as the second goal. So Rashford obviously picks up the ball and heavy touch, chases back and fouls the player. Then
Cedric Suarez. I would never have picked him.
No.
Isn't it his first goal for Southampton?
Yeah, his 100th appearance. And he's following the trend. We touched on it last week around right back. It's normally left backs are the free kick goal scorers, but right backs are starting to make a trend. Trippier for England, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and now Cedric going for it.
Imagine being like, he must bang them in training quite frequently though, because otherwise you wouldn't be like, you haven't scored ever. Why do you think you're going to put this in? No, you're not taking it. Let someone else do it. But
maybe it's the Mark Hughes way. He's so lost his eye.
Let
the right, just take someone who can kick. Yeah,
lovely goal.
Yeah, very nice.
Postage stamp, wasn't it?
But then Rashford makes amends. He
looked quite like Rashford looked like one of the only players that actually wanted to try and make a difference. You know, he made good runs. He was hungry for the ball.
Yeah.
Everybody else was so laboured. I've never seen a less impressive performance from Paul Pogba.
He was on, was he?
Yeah, he
Who knew?
was so poor. So poor. The commentator sort of summed it up very, very beautifully in the second half. That Paul Pogba slows everything down. He says, Paul Pogba, everything slows down when he gets the ball. And it was. He got the ball, he looked up, he played it back to his centre-back. And that's almost all that he did, except for one time where he went to try and control it and just stepped over it, giving the ball straight back to the Southampton players.
No, I'm not a fan of Pogba. But Rashford, going back to him, he led the comeback. So obviously, good strength for the first goal. I mean, he played such a good pass that Lukaku couldn't even miss.
And that was perfect for Lukaku. I mean, because it's funny to laugh at him because he is rubbish. But you don't want to see a striker go 12 games without scoring. So it's a perfect opportunity. He literally couldn't miss. He just had to stick a foot on it.
And it was good. It was no thinking about it.
Instinctive.
Yeah,
he had just popped it in. So
and then for the second goal, good work again from Rashford down the flank. And one of my least favourite goal types is the flick, the near post flick. I don't like it.
Do you know?
No, I find it fluky.
Gianfranco Zola did it from a corner, I think, and that was genuinely brilliant.
That's genuinely brilliant, yes. But these
are more fluky now because that was a run and he jumped and flicked it. Genuinely excellent, and nothing will better that.
That was beautiful.
These other ones, I mean, also maybe the Felipe Anderson one against Manchester United, that was also quite nice. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's just that I haven't positioned myself right. I'm not in the right place for this ball. I'm going to flick a foot at it.
Attempt something, yeah.
I think it takes a deflection off the Southampton player before it goes in anyway. So,
but Southampton yet to win at home. It's
getting ridiculous.
It's dark times, isn't it? But they've shown a little bit more in recent weeks, but not
they've
really.
Got to be that team that
not getting anything out of it.
They can show it. You know,
they started to score, but actually still not started to win. But you have no win for United this time. They had a couple of comebacks in recent weeks, but they couldn't bother trying in the second half to get them. But
no, I think they didn't want to lose, did they?
Yeah,
they've done their coming back. Still papering over the cracks, though. Do you think it's going to be long before Mourinho?
Who do you reckon's going to lose their job first, Mourinho or Hughes?
I don't know. I think there was discussion with our friends yesterday that whoever lost that game yesterday would lose their job. Neither of them lost it.
Yeah.
So maybe they knew.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd probably say Hughes because I think Southampton would be more likely to twist rather than stick.
Yeah.
Because they're a smaller club and
the position they find themselves in is different from United's is not brilliant, but it's not perilous.
And I think that Southampton can employ a lot wider array of managers than United.
Because United can't afford to pick someone who's a bit,
they can't really take a chance on someone.
They've got to hit someone who's got to be a big name.
Obviously, Southampton need someone to keep them up, but there's more managers at that level. There's only so many managers that the fans or the board would be happy with at United to choose from. But
they need someone who's managing the Premier League, that's got a proven track record of getting best out of players in his squad, that's from Argentina, that manages at Tottenham. Do you think?
I think I'd love him.
I think anyone would love him, but that's often been the rumour. Do you think he'd move? I don't think he'd move.
I don't think he. I think he liked to honour contract, so he was approached by Valencia when he was at Espanyol after Unai Emery left Valencia. Emery recommended Pochettino. He was approached. He didn't. He turned him down because he wanted to honour his contract. Then he got sacked like 8 months later. That's why he went to Southampton. He didn't honour his contract at Southampton to Tottenham, so
I wasn't going to mention that.
Sort of downwards curve there.
He's starting something now.
But obviously, Real Madrid showed some interest during the summer. But I think for me, where I'd see him ending up is Paris Saint-Germain, where he played, or Real Madrid. I don't think he'd go to Barcelona because of Espanyol, and I'm not sure he'd go to another Premier League club because of Spurs. That's the hope. I have no problem whatsoever with players, managers going to Real Madrid. Obviously, I've seen it with Modric and Bale, and both have achieved outstanding success for what they deserve in their career. So Pochettino, if we don't match his abilities and ambitions, I don't have a problem with it, but we shall see. Right. All right, that comes to the end of the reviews of this week. So we'll move on to the wiki files.
Ooh.
How'd it go?
Who needs the wiki files? Wiki files.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
without Dave here.
No, we need to get recorded because it had some of the elements of it, but it wasn't as well-rounded as Dave wanted. But well done for giving it a go. Cool. All right, so I put in front of Mr. Owain East a wiki files here, someone's Wikipedia excerpt of their club career. Say what you see, and if you see it, say it, Owain East.
Okay, so I think I know who it is already,
Oh my goodness.
which I'm pleased with myself for. But then there's always doubts. No, but I'm pretty sure I do. So it looks like he started his youth career at Bristol Rovers at the Gas, a stadium we visited.
Yes, we visited. Yeah.
Thatcher's was £1 for a
Yeah,
pint.
it was actually me, you, and Dave.
Yeah.
That's how good friends we are.
Yeah.
And
Went to Bristol to visit him before he moved. So then after then he went to Norwich. That's where he spent his youth career until he must have signed a professional contract in Norwich because he stayed there from 1990 to 2000. Scored 32 goals in 84 appearances. Then went to Coventry for a year. Didn't score as many. 6.
No, pretty poor, wasn't it?
Poor. Newcastle, Celtic, Blackburn, then Liverpool, then West Ham. There's the kicker. City is the West Ham to City transition.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cardiff. That really gives it away.
Surprisingly, Liverpool took a chance on him, and he goes Man City loan out to Cardiff to.
He did all right at Cardiff, didn't he?
Yeah, that was Championship, but I think that was.
I think you're right.
I think Liverpool.
Was that under
Liverpool? I did not realise.
2011, 2012. Was that Hodgson or was it Kilkenny?
I don't remember him signing for Liverpool twice.
No,
I remember him two.
I remember him in 2006, 2007.
You signed West Ham signed him from there.
Yeah.
But I remember his Man City because he played in that. Was it the 4-3 Man City, Manchester United, Michael Owain last goal? Yeah.
His Rio Ferdinand tried a little scoop over his head and missed out.
Didn't go over his head. Didn't go over that midget's head. Yeah,
he's only about 5 foot tall, and he ran it in and scored. Yeah,
yeah. But it was a. So I presume you know who we're looking at here. Who would you like to say who we're looking at?
It's Craig Bellamy.
It's Craig Bellamy. Yes. Everybody loves Craig Bellamy, don't they?
No. Even when he was at West Ham, I didn't really like him.
He was all action, wasn't he? He was always looked like he had a lot of intent.
Busy.
Yeah,
constantly busy. And yes, Mark Hughes, in fact, signed him at Manchester City, didn't he?
Oh,
that was the boss, because that was it was the time when they'd just been taken over and they were bolstering their ranks. And he left us for about 14 million, which at 2009 was very much needed because we were significantly in debt then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pleased I knew a wiki file.
Do you remember anything stand out for Craig Bellamy apart from his John Arnorisa incident with a golf club? Anything stand out from Craig Bellamy's career with you? It was never a lot.
He was never prolific.
Was he? Most Premier League goals in a season was 13.
For
Blackburn. Yeah,
that's probably where I remember him the most. But yeah, he was always a busy, difficult.
Often got played out wide, didn't he?
Or drifted out wide.
Because he had the pace, and he was quite pacey, and he had problems with his knees a bit, I think, in the end. And but yeah, now as a pundit, you see him sometimes. He's not
terrible.
Not the worst. No.
He's just right.
Yeah, but I wonder how many people actually like him because he was an absolute bastard on the pitch. Yeah,
lots of central defenders say he was one of the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Striker to play against because he'd never stop talking and would niggle you, like pinch you.
Do you talk on the pitch? You're a talker.
I used to be when I was younger. I used to be quite lippy and talk. Now I don't.
You're too knackered.
I don't know what you're trying to say. I'm probably in the best nick I've been in since. Yeah. I just have a sort of rather apathetic view of the whole thing, and I'm more interested in if someone's talking. It depends what they're like, because often on a Sunday morning, they're not. You don't keep the best company, especially the opposition. So if they're not a nice enough person, I might just have a chat with them about stuff. Otherwise, I don't really say very much. Just maybe some sarcastic quips every now and then, which usually get me called various unpleasant names. It's always a testament to see if I've lost a bit of weight recently, because instead of being called a fat and the bad word, I get called a bald, the bad word.
Neil Warnock.
I take it as a compliment.
Yeah,
thanks very much. I have lost weight. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, lovely. All right, so that is the wiki files. Great. Anybody have any Craig Bellamy memories? Please feel free to share them, good, bad, or indifferent. So we'll now move on to our poll of the week. So we. Breaking news this week, we didn't touch on the news earlier because I knew I was mentioning it here, was that Sol Campbell finally, one of the greatest minds in football, has now been employed by the worst league club in Football League, the bottom of Football League, and Macclesfield Town appointed Sol Campbell as their manager. So I pose a question, will his reign there be successful? We had the obviously immediate answer from Shiv going, when have the words Macclesfield and success been relatable, which is very understandable. But I thought, but just in the realms of of Macclesfield's success? Could he hold his head up high?
Relative term, isn't
Relative, yes, that's the word.
I enjoy the fact that more people said they didn't care than yes.
Yeah, so the results were after 27 votes. So we had 19% yes, 29% don't care, and 52% said no. So not many people, not many people thought he was going to be a success, which is quite understandable.
It's understandable. He has no real experience as a manager.
I'm not sure. I think this is his first role. Yeah. Do you not think that because of how he's been treated or how he's going to be outspoken, even the players might be a little bit like they're probably not enthused about this appointment? I mean, maybe to begin with they won't be enthused, but when I suppose working with. Because at his time, a fantastic centre back, won a lot in his career. I mean, they need to get past this kind of superficial, unless hopefully there is something behind this superficial front end of Sol Campbell, which is just a bit odd.
Yeah,
I've seen a few interviews. He's quite an odd man. But I have nothing. I do hold a bit of a grudge against Sol Campbell. I don't want to see him do badly. I'd be interested. It'd be fantastic if he was to do well, because it'd be like I enjoy that kind of underdog proving people wrong.
Yeah,
but I can't see it personally.
No, I can't either. But I don't know. It's nice that he's a former, I would say, world class centre back.
Yeah.
A former world class player, not just strolling into a club in the Championship or Premier League.
Well, evidently he couldn't. He was seemingly ignored.
It's too weird.
Yeah, it's too odd. Yeah,
but maybe he can cut his teeth there, and I hope maybe he'll do well. I can't see it.
I can't even see him sustaining a managerial career with other clubs. I almost feel like he just wanted to prove a point of getting a job and leaving. I can't see we'll be speaking in 20 years' time, and he's had a 20-year managerial career. I can't see it, but
I can't actually see his managerial career going all that well. However, he did manage to get a 1-0 win at Exeter in his first game in charge. So what do we know? Maybe he's a managerial genius and we just never realised.
He went the rogue route of being in the crowd rather than being on a touchline.
That's probably the ideal situation, isn't it? He's in charge, but we don't like him anywhere near the players because he's a bit odd. So we put him in the stands. He picks the team, but we do the rest.
Yeah.
And we threaten the players. If you don't play well, he'll come and talk to you after the game.
Yeah. Do you want Sol to talk to you?
No. Well, then you better play well, better you?
Yeah. It's always been one of those things which I find a bit odd that when managers sit in the stands. So Sam Allardyce used to do it a bit, didn't he? Used to go first half up with the earpiece.
Bolton used to be up there, always.
And if results go badly, they get completely criticised for it. Like being on the touchline makes any impact whatsoever. It's like, really, if you a lot of people might not have been to watch football. If you're on a touchline, you have a shit view of the match because often pitches have a camber. You can't actually see the other side pitch.
You can actually see everyone's knees.
Yeah,
and also no one can hear you.
No,
you go to even like a Premier League game. You go to a Premier League game. No one can hear you shouting.
No,
this is at Old Trafford.
So why can't a manager get a good view of things, work out what's going on, and actually make informed decisions? Go down to someone on the touchline, and then maybe they can bring someone over and go, look, you're getting exposed here because of this. You can see a tactical view of things.
Yeah, frankly, the higher you sit in the stadium, the better view you get the pitch.
If your views were that good of a touchline, all of our Sky coverage would be from the touchline. They're not good.
We'd be watching it point of view from the manager. They have a little hat on with a camera.
All right, so we'll leave that there with Sol Campbell.
Will his reign be a success? Arguably, it already is. So 52% is you. No, nothing.
So Sol, you might as well resign now.
Yeah,
end it.
100% success rate.
Yeah, do a Sam Allardyce.
Or do what you did at Notts County. Leave after 3 days.
Making a mug of me. Right, so we'll bookend this podcast with the quiz answers. So it was we looked at the most iconic sides in Premier League history. We had the Schmeichel, Parker, Irwin, Pallister, Bruce, Kanchelskis, Ince, Keane, Giggs, Hughes, Cantona United side. How many times did they play together?
Well, I mean, from the look you're giving me, I imagine not many.
No, 6 times that side started a Premier League match. 6.
So who was in between? That's surprising, actually, because you would have thought that team.
It's just, I think it just.
Did you just get romanticised? But
I think so. You pick the best players. You must pick your ideal starting 11, but not realise it's a squad game. So we'll move on to the Invincible side.
So now, when you think of the Invincible side, you think of those players, don't you?
You think of Jens Lehmann, mad Jens Lehmann in goal.
You never over, but get nothing done to him.
Lauren, who was apparently a hard man. Lauren, who was a bit of a boxer. You have Ashley Cole, Campbell, the successful Macclesfield manager.
Officially.
Yeah, Colo, Chubby Toure.
Perez.
Perez.
As it was Mark Overmars in that.
No, he was not.
Yeah,
He'd already gone.
Was all that gone?
Yeah,
Okay.
Gilberto Silva, the last holding midfielder at
Arsenal
had Vieira, Lundberg, Bergkamp, Henry, and that is
That's
like straight up.
good side.
They started two Premier League games as starting 11.
That's. Who else did they have in the side? Who else is on the
Philip Senderos coming in at centre back, maybe.
Permanently confused Senderos.
Yeah, was it Sylvain Wiltord maybe as a striker?
Maybe, yeah. But just so they only started to.
Yeah, they may have played more because of someone comes on a sub, maybe, but started.
I would have said that would be their strongest side. I can't think who would have got in there.
And then the last one was one of the Mourinho's title-winning sides. They have Cech, Paulo Ferreira, Bridge, Terry, Carvalho, Robin, Duff, Lampard, Makelele, Joe Cole, Drogba. They started.
Well, I'm going to say that this is going to be fewer than 2.
Yes,
gone down.
Correct.
What?
None.
No
games. No games together. I think maybe Bridge may have been a Cole.
Yeah,
swap
Cole
there.
would have swapped in, wouldn't he?
I think it was more of a point to prove that you can think of it as a side. Oh yeah, played. Never played. Never started.
Never started together.
No.
That is.
So I think it just goes to show that football is a squad game, and it really annoys me. I was watching Spurs during the week against Inter, and Robbie Savage was commentating, and Son and Eriksen didn't start the match, and constantly going on about, oh, you just got to play your best players all the time. It's like, all right, but we played Chelsea, Inter, Arsenal in a week. You want the same players play a match? No wonder you're not a manager. Think long term. Most players can't play 60, 70 games a season. Strawberry Savage never playing in Europe and never playing for a club who had a good cup run. Yeah, you can play your 38 games. You can play every week.
Yeah.
And then they went on to go, oh yeah, Messi and Ronaldo play every week. Yeah, because they're the best players on the side. Harry Kane pretty much plays every week as well. And Son and Eriksen had good games, yeah, but we've got a squad which can cope with coming in. They came on and made a difference for 30 minutes and we won the game. But if managers proven right, they didn't need to start the game to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, anything Robbie Savage said. The thing with Robbie Savage is he says something towards the beginning of the game, and then nothing, despite all the evidence in front of him, will ever change his mind. He just sticks to it. He might have made the most erroneous comment ever, but it doesn't matter because he's said it now, and he will just talk about what he just said, even if he knows he's wrong.
Some of the most consistent sides have been ones that you'd consider. It's been recent years actually. So N'Golo Kante's in 2 of them, which
yeah.
So he's in the Leicester side, which won the title because that
didn't change, did it?
And the Chelsea side won the title when with Conte, is that they just consistently played that same.
But then were Chelsea in? They weren't in the Champions League. There, were
neither side had European football at the time, which
that makes such a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you've got big side. Yeah, well, it makes So there's got to be a squad game, isn't it?
Yeah,
for those difficult competitions, which is why Burnley are doing so badly.
Yeah, can't cope with that qualifying for Europe. Well, not even qualifying for Europe. Well, that draws a close to this week's podcast. It's been very enjoyable. It's been very odd to have someone to talk to in person. Dave and I do this remotely, which is fantastic, but it's been a bit different change of pace. And in coming weeks, we will also do some podcasts face to face because Dave is back in the UK over Christmas. So some Christmas specials where we may see not just Dave, not just Josh, but maybe also Owain, maybe even someone else as well. A mysterious guest maybe also appearing. It's not
stealing my line, right?
Not Stuart Taylor.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry, Pete.
Have we contacted him?
No, he didn't turn up. Yeah.
We've got a bench you can sit on.
They don't even like to sit on the bench. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Owain. Have you enjoyed your time here?
It's been good fun. I've enjoyed it immensely.
Excellent. And so until next time, Football Talk. In the meantime, you can find us on Twitter at Football Talk. But remember, there is no A in football. And also find us on SoundCloud and YouTube at Football Talk. So until next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye.